I will start you like this. Attention!
So Tyrian on the Bucks side, they've got the chessboards on their chests. And Dresdner nearer to the bulk of the spectators, the bulk of the noise, the uplift, the atmosphere, the ambience, the pims, and everything else that goes together with the Henley Royal Regatta.
Attention! Go!
His first few strokes, as is always underlined, so critical in terms of establishing a tempo, gathering speed, and not least getting noses in front, and the umpire is already involved with Dresdner being perhaps forced or feeling forced to turn sharp left towards the Berkshire bank, and now righting themselves.
Just got a little bit wrong on the angle there at the start, and they do have these two markers that they can line up that the stroke can look at, so that he knows when he's going off in the right direction. You don't actually have to turn around and see where you're going. But we're sort of into the thrust of the thing now. It's a bit of a sort of a launch control in the start, and there's lots of skidding and splashing and stuff, but we're now into good rhythm, and the boats are going the same speed. Nobody seems to be pulling away, and the Tyrian boat just needs to play a little bit of catch-up. They'll be happy with that.
Despite that early steering problem, it was actually a pretty good start from Dresden, who did get their bow in front, but it's a lead that didn't last for long, and indeed may have vanished now more or less altogether. Just a little bit of an indicator from what occurred yesterday. The Tyrian club nearer to us beat Nottingham by 3 lengths in a time of 7 minutes 13. Dresden beat none such easily in a time of 7:09. Now, of course, when there is a result given as easily, it's perhaps not too sensible to rely too much on recording their time, because it could have been a time recorded easing up.
The fact is that easily is more than 5 lengths, rather than they did it without having to try. So, I mean, obviously they earned those 5 lengths, and if they were against slow opposition, then it's quite possible that they weren't going flat out the whole way. So you're absolutely right to point that out, Peter. But just so that people know that when it is easily, it's not a reference to their effort. Look at this drone shot.
Wow, this is absolutely beautiful. If you weren't with us earlier in the day, on the Friday of Henley Week, for the very first time as part of our television coverage, have been able to use this drone camera, which offers you not just an in-depth feel, a sense of almost joining the race, being in the boat, but this terrific panoramic view of the course itself, its geography, its background, its scene, its
context.
Absolutely.
It's just such a wonderful atmosphere. It's fabulous. I'm just looking at the rowing, Peter, if we may, just for a moment. I noticed that the Tyrian crew on the left of the picture at this point is almost drifting a little bit into the middle and joining the Dresdner. They're obviously trying to avoid the booms. There's also a tactical thing, maybe trying to wash a bit of dirty water down on your opponents. They don't like to be going through choppy water like that. But if I may, I'd just like to point out that the number of strokes they're taking is different. There's a different style to this extent. If you look at the Tyrian crew, they're about 36 strokes every minute, whereas the Germans about 33, 34. So obviously the Germans need to be going further or have longer strokes for each stroke if they're going to keep up. But it's still a close race.
And in terms of expenditure of energy, would you derive any further information from that? Who might you expect to have more left?
Well, if I asked you to do a 2,000 metre race on a bicycle, and I asked you to choose a gear, you've got your choices. You know, do you want to have a sort of 90 cadence and go like this, or do you want a sort of a cadence of 60 and go and that's exactly what the coach has decided with the power and the size and the shape of these crews. And look what's happening here. We've got Dresdner coming over to say hello to the Tyrian club, which the umpire will be very happy about.
What we do have here is a genuine contest. This is bubbling up into a very nice race indeed. Dresden evidently have a deficit to make up here, have work to do, but it's not insurmountable gap between them. I don't think there is quite clear water yet, and it will be a part of Dresden's race plan, certainly from this point in, to ensure that Tyrian can never enjoy clear water. But they are being kept more than honest here, the Tyrian A4.
What I would say, Peter, I mean, we're talking about strike rates, and striking a certain number of strokes per minute, that if you're up at 36, 37, maybe you haven't got quite so far to go to find, you know, you're already up there at the higher levels of the cadence. Whereas if you look at the Dresdner people, 34 strokes a minute, they could take up to 38. They may have more waiting here. This could be a tactical thing, but they need to make a move quite quickly. They're coming up into the closure area.
Very big year this for the Dresden club. It's their 125th year. They have pulled all the stops out to celebrate it properly, and that, well, a large part of that has been ensuring that they're well represented here. Train on the Elbe River in Dresden. Here on the River Thames, it could be that their dream, at least in this event, is on the cusp of vanishing, because Tyrian appear to have plenty in the tank. They have retained their smoothness. They have the advantage of some clear water now, and all the work that has to be done, or the bulk of it, needs to be done by the German four.
I can't see this changing now. I think that Tyrian must be managing this to their own satisfaction. They'll be very happy about where they're going. They're in fact taking it up themselves. Let's see where they're going now. They're at yes, nearly 38 now. They don't have any nonsense here. They're not going to play around and give the Germans a sniff. The Germans are still quite solid and still quite stable, but they just haven't got that grip. They haven't got that horsepower to come back on this amount of distance.
And what this is going to do is set up a lip smacker of a semi-final against the Tideway Scullers, who beat Tyne Amateur Rowing Club in a really good quarter-final first thing this morning. Tyrian Club, University of London Old Boys, have done their business more than efficiently here, and as mentioned, they've remained tidy right through to the very end. Fine display of strength this, a little flourish at the end, a little extra as they're egged on by the rising applause. Tyrian Club A beat Dresdner Ruderverein and progressed to the semi-final of the Wyfold Challenge Cup.